Suppose you don't upgrade to the new technology, what happens? Your competitors will make use of the new technology and they will come out with better quality products. The entrepreneur has to decide the nature and type of goods to be produced. So being an entrepreneur, if you are coming out with the same kind of product over and over again, one particular point of time the demand will saturate. When you compare urban area to a rural area, urban area is well developed, there is better infrastructure when compared to rural areas. Hello, this is Purna Chandra, Faculty, Department of Commerce and Management, Vidhyaashram. So we are dealing with the subject Entrepreneurship Development for 5th Sem BCom. So we are dealing with the first unit and today will be your second session. So the name of the first unit is Introduction to Entrepreneurship. So here in the last class, that is in the first session, we dealt with Introduction to Entrepreneurship, meaning and definition of entrepreneurship, and also characteristics of a successful entrepreneur, role of entrepreneurship in economic development. So in today's class, what we will be dealing is the topics which we are covering in today's class is functions of an entrepreneur, women entrepreneur and challenges, rural entrepreneurship and challenges. So these are the topics which we will be covering today. So first we will deal with functions of an entrepreneur. So the very first function of an entrepreneur is risk absorption. So we will understand this. Business risks involves possibility of changes in the taste of consumer. What does this mean? So suppose a consumer, he is opting for a particular product today. That doesn't mean he'll opt for it tomorrow. His taste might change in future. So that is a risk for you. You are manufacturing a particular product and the customers are buying it today. That doesn't mean that they will buy it tomorrow also. Their taste might change and they may go for a different product. So there is a risk. So you have to absorb that risk. Changing techniques of production, what does this mean? So you are manufacturing a product, you are using a particular technique today. So that doesn't mean you should make use of the same technique after 5 years. So what happens here? The techniques of change is always there. That means the techniques in which a particular product is manufactured or produced changes quite frequently. So there is a risk. Suppose you are using a particular technique today. So if some new techniques comes, you should be able to upgrade yourself to the new technique. So there is always a risk which you have to absorb regarding techniques of production. Next is new inventions. What does this mean? So here you have come out with a very good product and your product is of very good quality and people are opting for your product. Now what happens? All of a sudden some new invention has happened. Some new similar type of product has been invented. What happens? All the customers who are buying your product is going for the new invented product. So that risk is always there. Then technological changes. What does this mean? So basically in today's world, the technology that is prevailing today is becoming outdated tomorrow. So there is always a risk. Like what? You are investing in a particular technology. Suppose for example, you are investing 10 lakhs. So you are investing 10 lakhs for a particular technology and after 1 month, the new technology is introduced in the market. Now what happens? The new technology is 50 lakhs. You have invested just 1 month before, you have invested 10 lakhs. Now the new technology costs 50 lakhs. So now obviously you will have to upgrade to the new technology. Because suppose you don't upgrade to the new technology, what happens? Your competitors will make use of the new technology and they will come out with better quality products. So this is called risk absorption. So next we will go for formulate strategic business decision. This is the second function of an entrepreneur. The entrepreneur has to decide the nature and type of goods to be produced. That is, before producing a particular product, he has to decide what kind of product he has to produce. That is, for example, he wants to produce smartphones. So before producing smartphones, he should make the feasibility study regarding smartphones, whether it will work out for him or not. And then he has to take a strategic business decision to produce a smartphone. That is the example. So you see the second point, he has to make use of the method of production which is profitable. That is, for example, he wants to produce a smartphone, then he has to adopt a method of production that is profitable, means it should be feasible for him. Like how? He has to make use of the method of production that is feasible, means with limited resources he has to come out with maximum products and quality products. That is the meaning. This is the second function, that is, he comes out with strategic business decision. Next we go for the third function, that is execute managerial function. What does this mean? Entrepreneur has to perform managerial functions which are different from entrepreneur function. What is the meaning of this? So entrepreneur function is nothing but you undertake risk, you invest your money, you decide a product to be produced, and you carry on the activities. That is entrepreneurial function. Then what is managerial function? So managerial function is nothing but your planning, organizing, staffing, directing and controlling. So here it is necessary that an entrepreneur has both entrepreneur as well as managerial functions. So what entrepreneur usually does? He formulates production plans, that is how much products to produce, how much raw materials we require, how many workers we require. Then he arranges finance. What is the meaning of that? To procure raw materials you need money, to pay salary to the employees or subordinates you need money. So he arranges finance. Purchase raw materials. Obviously to produce a product you require raw materials. You have to negotiate with the supplier and make the deal. That is purchase raw materials. Provide production facility. That is, simply purchasing raw materials is not enough. You want a factory premises or a layout where you can conduct your production process. That is, provide production facilities. And the last one is organize sales. What is the meaning of organize sales? Organize sales means it is not only enough to come out with a quality product. You should also make sure that it is sold. So you have to sell it. For example, you have produced 1000 products. So this is production. Now you will have to sell 1000 products so that you make profit, right? This is the production and this is the sale. So what happens if this sale is only 100? So if this sale is only 100 means totally 900 products is not sold. So what happens? You have produced 1000 quality products and you are selling only 100 means remaining 900 products is a waste. That is loss of your money. So you have to organize sales so that the product which you have produced has to be sold. So next, functions of an entrepreneur, that is the fourth function, innovative function or innovation function. Entrepreneur conceives the idea for the improvement in the quality of products produced. Innovation is an ongoing function. What is innovation? Innovation means upgrading your product. Like how dairy milk upgraded to dairy milk silk, or your bikes. For example, your R15 bike, they upgraded to version 2, version 3 and version 4. This is called innovation. So being an entrepreneur, if you are coming out with the same kind of product over and over again, one particular point of time the demand will saturate. So what happens? It is very essential on an entrepreneur point of view that he innovates the product so that he can increase the sale. This is regarding your innovation function. For example, introduction different kinds of electronic gadgets. That is, if you are giving the same features over and over again, people will not buy. You should come out with something new. That is innovation. So this is the last function of an entrepreneur. So next, we are getting into women entrepreneur. Who is a woman entrepreneur? Any woman who is into business activities, who is self-made, who has undertaken risk, who has invested lots of money in a particular idea, is manufacturing a product and he is successful. She is successful in making sales to a particular product. We call them as a woman entrepreneur. That is, she is a successful self-made business woman. So we will understand the scope of women entrepreneurship. So we will see. In rural areas where agriculture is prominent activity, women can get into agro-based industries, that is based on agriculture. Suppose a lady, she is residing in a rural area. She wants to start her own business. So she can get into agro-based industries like food distribution. That is, if she is very good at cooking, so what she can do, she can prepare the food in bulk at home and she can distribute among other people. That is catering inside the villages. She can get into that. Then dairy, if she has got cattle at home, she can make use of the dairy, that is the milk, and she can come out with dairy products like your ghee, butter, or your buttermilk, or she can start her own milkshakes or anything of that sort which is related to dairy. Then if she has got poultry, she can make use of it. She can come out with egg business or chicken business pertaining to her level, that is poultry. The second scope is in area where forests are predominate, women can make use of medicinal plants and come out with healthy organic products. What does this mean? Suppose there's a lady, she's residing in a forest area and there are a lot of medicinal plants which is in her reach. So she can make use of those medicinal plants and she can come out with healthy organic products like what? Like your ointments, your face cream, body cream, or anything of that sort. So this is regarding forest. Then women can also be trained in maintenance and repair of small machineries and they can start their own shop. Like what? Small machineries like your mixie grinder. Ladies, they'll be knowing what is the technicality of mixie or grinder because it is always present inside a kitchen. So if they are well trained in maintenance of a mixie or repair of a mixie, she can only start her own repair shop in a rural area. That is the meaning of the third point. Then she can also get into electronics. Suppose she is very good in electronics, she is a graduate or she has done engineering. What she can do? She can start her own distribution center of television or electronic things like refrigerator, air conditioner, etc. That is regarding electronics. Then what is computer services? Computer service, suppose she can start her own computer center where she can give computer service regarding the chips or regarding the RAM or the motherboard. If there is any problem, she can rectify it and she can make a business out of it. Next, advertising and publicity. So basically advertising means if any lady, she is very creative in thinking, she can start her own advertising agencies and she can come out with different ideas or creative ideas where she will come out with advertisements for a big companies, MNC companies, and in return she will be paid well. So that is advertising. She can start her own advertising agencies. And also publicity, that is also related to advertising. So this is the fourth point. These are the challenges that the women entrepreneurs are facing today. First challenge is non-availability of finance. Basically, traditionally in India, women, they have to ask money from either their parents or the husband. That is, basically what happens is they are not sent outside to work. So this is a challenge. Arranging finance is a challenge for her. Suppose she is having her own earning means she can invest. But here, for everything, she has to either ask their parents or the husband. So that is a challenge. Production problem. Obviously, women cannot supervise the work from morning till evening in the factory premises. So she is not as sturdy or she is not as stable as a man when it comes to production. That is, for example, if it is a man, he can supervise the activities from morning till evening because he is physically stable. So similarly, a woman cannot monitor the production activities like men. So that is a problem. That is a challenge. Lack of managerial skills. Obviously, when compared to men, women are very soft spoken. For example, certain workers or the lower level employees, they are not listening to her. What happens? She cannot be arrogant to them because she is soft spoken. When it comes to men, he can be arrogant and he can give some rigid directions. So here what happens, there is a lack of managerial skills. So that is a challenge to an woman entrepreneur. Then lack of knowledge. Obviously, women in India are not allowed to go to colleges or do any kind of higher education. Now the scenario has changed. But before, what used to happen, they were asked to stay at home and look after the household activities. As a result, they were lacking knowledge. That is also a challenge. Lack of education and awareness. Obviously, As I've already explained, they were not allowed to get into colleges. As a result, they lack awareness. This is the fifth point. Then low level of risk taking attitude. Obviously, the level of risk taking attitude is very low when compared to men. For example, there is a proposal to start a business with 1 crore. So there is a proposal to start a business with 1 crore. So here, if you give the proposal to a man, he is ready to take the risk. Okay, we will start. So he is ready for 1 crore. If the same proposal is given to a woman, obviously she will draw back. So this is, if the same proposal is given to a woman, she will definitely draw back because she is having low level of risk-taking attitude. This is the meaning of that. Then competition from male entrepreneurs. What does this mean? Obviously, there will be competition from male entrepreneurs like what? For example, in the market, if you see, out of 100 entrepreneurs, there are only 1 or 2 female entrepreneurs, and people, they prefer the products of male entrepreneurs. If the same product, same quality is produced by the male or female, people will prefer male because they have a notion in their mind that the products produced by male entrepreneurs are better. This is one challenge. Then less confidence because of the lack of knowledge, awareness, practical exposure. Obviously, women entrepreneurs have less confidence, and apart from that, because they are small in number, because there are thousands of male entrepreneurs and there are only few women entrepreneurs like 5 or 6, that also reduces their confidence. That is also a challenge. Then limited mobility. What is the meaning of mobility? Mobility means how you move around. Because in India, women are made to sit at home and do household activities, so they don't mobilize like men. So it results in limited mobility. As a result of limited mobility, their knowledge is less, their practical exposure is less, their managerial skills are less. So that is a challenge. Then lack of social and institutional support. What is the meaning of this? Obviously, there's a lady, she wants to do a startup. She's got a very good idea, but the society will not accept her idea. They will try to pull her legs. That is, they will not support her. They'll say, why you want to get into business? Anyhow, your parents are doing well, your husband is doing well, you can sit at home. So in such ways, they will discourage. That is lack of social support. Then what is institutional support? Institutional support is the support which you get from the banks or other financial institutions. Now there is a woman, she goes to a particular bank and she asks for 1 crore loan. She presents her idea and she asks for 1 crore loan. Now the bank, just because she is a lady, they will reject. Now if the same idea is proposed by a male entrepreneur, now the bank will agree to give him 1 crore loan. So this is lack of social and institutional support. So next we are going for rural entrepreneurship. So basically, what is rural entrepreneurship? We will understand here. Rural entrepreneurship is that entrepreneur which ensures value addition to rural resources in rural areas. Like what? Rural is the opposite of urban. Rural means village area or downtrodden areas. So I will explain this. What is happening? For example, you are starting your factory in a rural area. You are making use of rural resources. For example, coconuts or the fruits and vegetables you are growing there. So because you started a business there, what is happening? There is value addition to those rural resources. This is the meaning. Then it engages large rural human resources. What is the meaning of this? What happens? You are starting a factory in a rural area. You need workers. You are giving them jobs. So what you are doing? You are engaging large rural human resources. That is the meaning. You are giving them employment. That is human resources. You are recruiting them. So next we will go to the types of rural entrepreneurship. The first is agro-based enterprise. That is based on agriculture. So these include direct sale or processing of agro products such as jaggery, that is derived from your sugar cane, which is grown in rural areas. Then your sugar, the same thing. Pickles. Suppose you are having a mango farm, you can make use of your mangoes or lemons or any of that sort, and you can come out with your own brand of pickles. Oil processing from oil seeds. Suppose you have a flowers farm where you grow sunflowers, you can make use of it and you can come out with your own brand of oil. Fruit juice. For example, you got huge trees of orange in your farm, or you grow pineapples or mangoes, you can start your own fruit juice brand. And dairy products, as I've already explained, like your cheese, ghee, butter, milkshakes, etc. Then your spices, that is your pepper or any other kind of spices you can make use. So these are all rural based or agro based, that is based on agriculture. So next we go for forest based industries, wood products. Suppose you got a plot of 10 acres or 20 acres. So what you can do, you can grow your teak wood or rosewood. You can start your own brand of wood furnitures, or you can sell those wood to other furniture brands, that is wood products. Bamboo products, they are also used for furnitures and they got n number of utility. So if there is bamboo trees, you can use it for that. Then honey making, just like your Dabur honey, if there is access to any honey in your farm, you can come out with your own brand of honey. So that is forest based industries. Mineral industry, that is cement industry and stone crushing. So basically these are based on mining, mineral based industries. That is, if there is lot of reserves of your calcium, silicon, etc., you can dig it and you can come out, you can sell it to cement industry. They can make use of them to make cement. Cement is a combination of the different minerals. The main is calcium and your silicon, potassium and etc. So then stone crushing, that is your granite and marbles. Suppose there is huge reserves of stone in your farm, you can take permission from the government, you can excavate it and you can start your own marble industry, granite industries, etc. This is mineral based industries. Then textile industry. Textile industry is like your clothing, whatever you are wearing, how cotton is converted from cotton into a shirt or a jeans. For example, these are the different things, that is weaving, spinning, coloring and bleaching. So all these processes, when they are subject to, you get the final ready-made clothes. This is textile industries. So if you have got cotton trees, you can sell those cotton not only to the textile industries but also to other industries where they make use of cotton. Then handicrafts, that is decorative toys. Like you are in Karnataka, there is a place called Chanpatna which is called Toy City. So handicrafts means those toys are handmade, they don't make use of any machines. So they make use of local resources like wood and etc. and they come out with toys. You can also start such things. Then engineering. So small and medium sized industries to produce agricultural machinery. So there is a rural area where they don't manufacture agriculture machinery. For everything they have to travel to cities. So in such areas, what happens is, you can start your own brand of agriculture machinery. You can manufacture it there and give it at reasonable price. Then equipment for usage in rural areas. So what is the meaning of that? Equipment of use in rural areas is, there are a lot of equipments which can be used in rural areas. If you manufacture them in their own place, then you can make a business out of it. Otherwise, they will have to travel to cities to procure those equipments. Then services. There are wide range of services in rural areas like mobile repair, agriculture machinery services. That is, you can come out with your own service shop because now internet is everywhere. So almost all people are using Android phones. Suppose there is any problem with the mobile, you can start your own mobile repair shop. And also the agriculture machineries that people are using, if there is any problem, you can repair it there itself by starting your own servicing center. So this is services. So next we go to the challenges of rural entrepreneurship. The first challenge is lack of infrastructure facilities, because when you compare urban area to a rural area, urban area is well developed, there is better infrastructure when compared to rural area. So it becomes a challenge for an entrepreneur to come out with a very good facility in a rural area. Lack of technical know-how. That is, people in rural areas, they lack technical knowledge and experience when compared to urban area. So that is a challenge. So they have to acquire the same technical know-how what people in urban area are having to be successful. That's the challenge. Lack of quality management. What is the meaning of this? Obviously, you have to maintain the quality of the product for it to be sold. So to come out with the quality, what you need is, you need skilled workforce and knowledgeable workforce. If the workers are only not skilled, if they lack technical know-how, then obviously maintaining a good quality product becomes a difficulty. So that is a challenge. Lack of quality management. Then non-availability of skilled labor. As I've already explained, availability of skilled labor is very less in rural areas because people are deprived of education, they lack technical know-how. As a result, what has happened is, you will get workers who are not skilled. So if you want skilled labor, then again you have to bring them from urban areas. You will have to accommodate them in a rural place, or you should give them allowance so that they can travel. So that is a challenge. Fear to invest in business. Obviously, people in rural areas are not financially well off. Every rupee of money is a concern for them. So they will fear to invest in lakhs or crores. So that is a challenge for them. Suppose there's a very good idea and the investment requires 10 lakhs. Obviously, they will back off because 10 lakhs is like 10 crores to rural people. So this is fear to invest in business. Next, low purchasing power of rural people. What does this mean? So the low purchasing power of rural people means, even if you give quality products also, if the price is high, they will not purchase it. This is low purchasing power. So even if the product quality is okay and if you are giving it affordable price, means they will buy. Otherwise, they will not buy. So this is low purchasing power of rural people. That is a challenge for an entrepreneur because he has invested in machinery, he has invested in raw materials, also invested in technology, and he cannot give the products at giveaway price. He has to mention some price based on his profit margin. So that is a challenge for him. Lack of finance. Obviously, you are in rural area and banks also, they hesitate to give loans for rural entrepreneurs, and it becomes a very challenge for you to arrange the finance. Unlike in urban areas, people are well off financially, they are stable, so they will invest. But in rural areas, what happens? There is always a challenge of lack of finance. Next, non-supportive attitude of financial institution. So suppose you got a very good idea to start a business. You go to a financial institution or a bank and you express your idea regarding your business, and just because you are starting it in a rural place, they will not give you the loan. That is non-supportive attitude of financial institution. Suppose if the same idea is proposed by a person in the urban area, obviously the banks are there to give him the loan. This is the thing. That's a challenge for the rural entrepreneur. Lack of communication. Rural people lack managerial communication. They don't know how to negotiate with people. They don't know how to communicate with subordinates. They don't know how to communicate with workers. So what happens? There is lack of communication, which might have a negative impact on their business. So that is also a challenge. Then problem of warehousing. So obviously it becomes very difficult to set up a very standardized warehouse in a rural areas. Like what? As we have already understood that, for example, you are into dairy. So you need refrigeration for your products. So that becomes a challenge. So refrigerating the entire warehouse becomes a challenge for you. And also establishing very big warehouse in rural areas is also a big challenge. That is the thing. So this is the challenges of rural entrepreneurship. So this is it for today's session. So in the next session, what we will be studying is, we will get into the next unit, that is Entrepreneurship Development Program. That is the various objectives of EDP and importance of EDP and institutions doing EDP in India. Thank you.